You've probably noticed that we Americans tend to say thank you a lot. Whether we're saying thanks for something small, showing appreciation for someone's support, or expressing gratitude for a huge favor, you want to find a way to acknowledge our feelings. Let's talk about how. Here in the United States, we often respond to thanks with the simple phrase, "You're welcome." There's nothing wrong with this simple saying. It sounds completely natural. We reduce the word your and stress the first syllable of welcome, well. Because it's reduced, the vowel in come turns into the schwa sound, come. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Be sure to use friendly, sincere intonation. You're welcome. You're rising to your highest pitch on well, holding that syllable a little bit longer, and then dropping down on come. You're welcome. You're welcome. To sound even more upbeat and sincere, you can hit a higher pitch on well. You're welcome. You're welcome. Said with a smile, it shows that you were happy to help. You're welcome. You're welcome. To strengthen this phrase, you can add the word so. You're so welcome. You can even hold the word so a little bit longer and use a higher pitch in order to make it sound even more sincere. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Once again, be sure to say it with friendly intonation, or else it may sound sarcastic. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. You may also hear people say, "You're very welcome," or "You're most welcome," although both sound a little formal to me. I tend to use them in writing more than speaking because you don't have that extra context that intonation provides. You're very welcome. You're most welcome. Besides you're welcome, we're most likely to say no problem when someone thanks us. Be sure to stress no problem, and say that whole phrase with friendly intonation. No problem. No problem. Once again, to sound even more upbeat and sincere, you can hit a slightly higher pitch on prob. No problem. No problem. Flatter intonation may sound sarcastic or annoyed, as if you were frustrated to help. No problem. No problem. When talking to friends, family, or coworkers who are thanking me for something small, I often say, no prob. This is more casual or informal, so make sure you're using it in the right situations. Once again, you'll stress prob and use friendly intonation. No prob. No prob. I also say no worries quite often in response to thanks. No worries. This is a way of acknowledging that it wasn't a big deal, so they shouldn't worry about putting me out. No worries. As you can hear, the stress is on were. No worries. No worries. Be sure to rise to the stress syllable and drop afterwards. No worries. No worries. Here are some other ways you can say you're welcome. Sure thing. Sure thing. Anytime. Anytime. Happy to help. Happy to help. Glad I could help. Glad I could help. Sure. Sure. Of course. Of course. As you can hear, the intonation I'm using is friendly, upbeat, and positive. It shows the person that you mean what you say. Sure thing. Anytime. Happy to help. Glad I could help. Sure. Of course. You may also hear people say, my pleasure, or the pleasure was mine, but that sounds more British to me. If you were truly happy to help, you can also use one of these phrases. It was the least I could do. That phrase sounds like you could have done more, so it wasn't a big deal to contribute the way you did. It was the least I could do. It was the least I could do. If you want to emphasize that it wasn't a big deal because that's what friends are for, you can say something like this. I know you'd do the same for me. I know you'd do the same for me. And if you feel a little bit embarrassed that they're thanking you, you can say something like, don't mention it. Don't mention it. This reminds the other person that you were happy to help and it wasn't a big deal. Now let's talk about a few more casual ways to say you're welcome. These are most common when you're interacting with your friends, people in your extended social circle, or people more or less in your same age group. You really have to pay attention to the context and how comfortable you feel with the other person. If you feel a little embarrassed that the person is thanking you, you may say something like, forget about it. Forget about it. Perhaps it's a little hard for you to accept appreciation, so you feel a little shy. When it comes to using these more casual phrases, I recommend listening to other people and seeing how often they use them. When you pay more attention to how people use these phrases, you'll be able to use them more naturally. I've got you. I've got you. This shows that you would support your friend. You've got their back. It's all good. It's all good. In casual speech, this may even be reduced. It's all good. It's all good. No big deal. No big deal. You can hear that the intonation is minimizing what the person's thanking you for. If they are really appreciative because you helped them out and it means a lot to them, you may not want to say it's no big deal because it is a big deal to them. Shorter versions of no big deal are no biggie and no big, no biggie, no big. No biggie, no big. If you want to return the thanks because the other person helped you out at the same time, you can say thank you with emphasis on the word you. You would normally be reduced. By stressing this word more than normal, you return the feeling of gratitude. Thank you. Thank you. We may also say same to you. Thank you. Same to you. Thank you. Thank you. Same to you. Thank you. To accept or receive someone's appreciation or gratitude, you can also add more variety to your welcome. It's very common to use 2 or maybe 3 of these expressions in a row. Thank you. You're welcome. Happy to help. Thanks so much. No prob. I know you'd do the same for me. I appreciate your time. No worries. Glad I could help. If they thank you for something specific, you can add a little more to show appreciation back. Thanks for coming. Sure thing. I had a great time. Thanks for checking in. No worries. I wanted to make sure you were okay. When it comes to accepting thanks, simple is best. Smile, make eye contact, and use friendly intonation. Last, you've probably noticed that a lot of these expressions minimize the effort or trouble that it was for you. It wasn't a problem for me. No need to thank me. It was nothing. Some people do this to avoid you feeling uncomfortable, like you owe them something. It's cultural. Personally, I think it's easier and more polite to be warm and accept the thanks. Now that you know how to respond to thanks, be sure to review how to show appreciation and express gratitude in English with this video. Leave a comment and let me know some other ways you've heard people respond to thanks. Once again, I'm Kim from EnglishWithKim.com. I'm your guide to the essential communication skills you need to sound more natural in English. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. Be sure to hit subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Have a good one. Goodbye.